Welcome to Dinar Trend Tracker. What if I told you that Iraq is gearing up for another big currency reform on the 25th? A proposal has the potential to alter the country's monetary system in profound ways. Yes, the Iraqi central bank has revived the long-simmering debate on demonetizing the dinar. Economists, investors, and regular people all across the world have been debating this subject for months. Some see it as a much-needed move toward modernization, while others worry it will lead to unnecessary speculation or chaos. Here are the facts behind this action, so you don't have to guess or believe internet buzz. Speculation on the impact on Iraq's economy, international investors, and the development of the dinar. If you stick around till the very end, you'll have a greater grasp of the whole narrative than the majority of financial analysts. Then, why does it matter when a nation chooses to demonetize its currency? A currency redenomination is the layman's way of putting it. The value of the money does not increase magically. In order to make transactions easier, the digits on the bills have been reduced in size. Presume you possess a 25,000 dinar note. A new 2.5 dinar note would be created for every note that Iraq eliminates 4 zeros off. There is no change to the buying power. It's more manageable and easier to keep track of. Try to picture it as turning $1 into 100 cents. Your earnings remain unchanged, but the calculations are simplified and made more applicable to real life. Now, in the year 2025, why is this subject showing up again? Iraq has actually been debating this renomination for over 10 years. Around 2011 and again in 2015, the concept began to receive a lot of press. But now the central bank thinks the time might be ripe, thanks to better financial infrastructure, development in digital banking, and a push for economic reform. The present system of currency in Iraq is based on extremely large denominations, such as 25,000 or 50,000 dinar notes. Businesses and average people find that to be inconvenient. With the elimination of zeros, Iraq's financial and accounting systems will be brought up to date and everyday transactions would be made easier. Examining the present economic situation in Iraq can help us make sense of this strategy. Oil is abundant in the country. Despite its continued status as a global leader in oil production, the country's economy has been beset by political unrest, sluggish reforms, and inflation. Stabilizing prices, decreasing reliance on cash, and encouraging electronic payments are all goals that the government has been actively pursuing. More international investment and confidence in Iraq's currency system are two goals for 2025. That stability may be within reach after the redenomination. The main objective of eliminating zeros isn't to generate profit, particularly if done in an open and efficient manner. The goal is to make people trust the national currency again. People may lose faith in a country's currency if it has an excessive number of zeros. Iraq can facilitate financial transactions for individuals, companies, and even global trade by demonetizing its currency. Both mentally and practically, it's a fresh start. The economy can run more smoothly and prices will appear smaller. Careful execution is required to forestall transition-related confusion and fraud. Iraq isn't the pioneering nation to do this. As an example, in 2005, Turkey's currency lost 6 zeros. Prices were expressed in millions after the alteration. The scene appeared more orderly and uncluttered. This, however, is the crucial aspect. There was a gradual rise in value. Iraq is also subject to the same rule. A number of other countries have also undergone redenomination, including Argentina, Brazil, and Russia. In order to succeed or fail, one must plan ahead. Careful management by Iraq can boost the dinar's legitimacy, but a bundled operation could cause widespread uncertainty. An important point has been made by the Iraqi central bank: the removal of zeros will have no effect on the exchange rate of the dinar relative to the US dollar. Thus, following the redenomination, $1 will still purchase approximately the same amount of Iraqi dinars as previously. There has been no re-evaluation. Redenomination is what it is. Streamlining administrative processes is the objective, not achieving immediate value. The central bank maintains that redenomination will not magically make individuals wealthy, yet many internet forums and social media platforms conflate the two. The focus is on bringing the banking system up to date. rather than boosting income. This initiative has the potential to provide numerous benefits to the average Iraqi citizen. Using smaller, easier-to-read numerals would simplify regular expenditures like grocery shopping, bill payments, and ATM withdrawals. There would be less complexity in handling currency and better accuracy in accounting systems. Using smaller denominations would be more convenient than carrying huge bundles of 25,000 or 50,000 notes. Efficiency, digital banking, and trust in the dinar are all aided by this in the long term. But there are difficulties associated with redenomination as well. New currency must be printed and dispersed, old notes must be collected, software for banks must be updated, employees must be retrained, and the general public must be educated. Time and money are needed for these chores. Particularly in less developed regions where people may have less education about money, there is a greater chance of misunderstandings or scams occurring during this time of change. That is why it is essential to communicate with the public. To keep people from freaking out or being misled, the central bank should start awareness programs that clarify the process. The cost of replacing a whole currency is high. It can cost millions to print security designs, move them, and destroy old notes. It is imperative that Iraq verifies its financial and logistical resources are sufficient to manage this project without putting additional strain on other areas. To make sure foreign transactions go smoothly, it will be required to coordinate with international banks and organizations. When inflation is under control and the economy is doing well, redenomination tends to work. Both of these things have been priorities for Iraq. The announcement has caused both enthusiasm and bewilderment among investors from other countries. Some think it would cause the dinar's value to suddenly re-evaluate, going up significantly compared to the US dollar. However, that is not accurate. Value is not always increased just by removing zeros. The counting of currency is altered only by this. 1,000 old dinars may be worth 100 new dinars after renomination. However, the total worth remains the same. Investors should not put their faith in unsubstantiated claims but rather in confirmed economic solutions. The psychological component of renomination is frequently disregarded. Public trust in the currency can increase when smaller, more legible digits are displayed. In comparison to a 25,000 dinar note, a 2.5 dinar note appears to be more stable. Businesses in the area may feel more at ease pricing in dinar instead of US dollars as a result of this influence, which can boost savings and spending habits. This might represent a significant psychological victory for Iraq, which has been striving to lessen its reliance on the dollar. In 2025, the political atmosphere in Iraq will determine how effective this policy is. This massive monetary shift necessitates cooperation between several branches of government, financial institutions, and foreign allies. The redenomination may encounter setbacks in the event that political tensions intensify or if reforms encounter a halt. For that reason, professionals think the government should wait until things are calm before acting. There is still no set date that the central bank has revealed. Rather, it keeps working to educate the public, train employees, and get systems ready. With the advent of more advanced digital banking systems in Iraq over the past decade, the 2025 redenomination discussion is poised to take use of these advancements. These days, more and more people use electronic transfers, internet payments, and mobile banking apps. The changeover may go more smoothly if this happens. There would be less room for error and more efficiency in moving from paper to digital records when new denominations were added. A streamlined dinar system might make accounting and trading more transparent for foreign companies doing business with Iraq. Providing estimates, drafting contracts, and handling payments would all be less of a hassle. Particularly in the energy, construction, and technology industries, this openness can entice additional international investors. Nevertheless, stability must be maintained by the government, as investors seek out more predictable conditions. An orderly nomination process might demonstrate to the world that Iraq is committed to bringing its economy up to date. Nominations for currency readings typically take 1 to 3 years from the time they are announced until they are finished. In most cases, there is a transitional phase while the old and new currencies are both in circulation. This gives people time to get used to the change. Companies have to revise their price lists, banks have to handle exchanges, and people have to trade in their old currency during this time. Assuming there are no significant political or logistical hurdles, analysts estimate that it will take Iraq until late 2026 or 2027 to fully implement this process if it starts soon. The most important thing for anyone holding Iraqi dinars right now, whether they're in Iraq or abroad, is to stay aware, be cautious, and don't believe in unrealistic claims. Currency holders won't get richer overnight just because it's redenominated. We will just transfer your funds into new notes of the same denomination. Be sure to always follow official financial channels and central bank information. Never trust rumors or third-party experts that guarantee huge gains. No adjustment like this ensures profits on currency investments, which are risky. This shift fits into Iraq's larger plan for economic modernization and change, which is the larger picture. Iraq is not just putting money into infrastructure but is also investing in businesses such as agriculture, technology, and tourism in an effort to diversify its economy away from its reliance on oil. These endeavors could be bolstered by redenomination, which restores public faith and improves financial efficiency. Keep in mind, nevertheless, that monetary change cannot address every economic issue. Not a miracle, but a tool. The health and prosperity of a country's economy are the ultimate judges of its currency's value. Thus, Iraq's intention to deduct 4 zeros from the dinar is not a pipe dream as of 2025. While this isn't an overnight success story, it is a practical move that is being thoughtfully explored. We're talking about streamlining, updating, and building trust. Although the dinar's value might not suddenly increase, this approach has the potential to pave the way for a more robust and efficient economy down the road. Remember to always be well informed, conduct independent research, and evaluate online claims with a critical eye. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and enable notifications so you never miss an update on the Iraqi dinar. Just the facts, no fluff. If you found this explanation useful,